Good morning, dear students. Now, in the last session, we have discussed how the environment word comes from. Then we have discussed the levels of the organization. What is the ecology? Now, in today's session, we have to discuss the different cycles. What are the different nature cycles and how the human activities affects what is the impact of the human activities. So first we will start with the hydrological, or we can say it's a water cycle. Right, this is basic. We all know what is the water cycle is. Right, we have the sources of the water. From that, due to the evaporation, the water is get evaporated from the oceans, from the different resources, and then it gets condensed. After condensation, it is coming in the form of the rain as precipitation to the land. So some of the water is stored as the underground water, some of the water is runoff water, surface runoff water, and finally again it goes to the ocean. So this cycle is goes on. Now there are some human activities that will have the impact on this cycle. Now nowadays the day by day the population is increases, so the day by day our water demand or fresh water demand is also increases. The simultaneously the pollution is also increases. We are emitting the waste water into the water sources, so that is also the it will pollute the surface and the underground water. The third major issue, that is the deforestation. So ultimately these human activities will affect the hydrological cycle. Next we have carbon cycle. Now these are the these are the sources where the carbon is available. One in the form of the organic molecule, it is in the living and dead organism. Second, it is in the form of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It is in the form of the organic matter in the soils. You can find out in the fossil fuels, and some of the carbon dioxide is also dissolved in the oceans also. So this is the sources of the carbon dioxide or part of the carbon cycle. Now this is the pictorial representation of the carbon cycle, and it gets balanced only with the photosynthesis process. That is the mainly balance between whatever the carbon dioxide is emitted into the environment, and from only photosynthesis or only tree are taken the carbon dioxide from the environment. Now the human activities that will affect the carbon cycle, because the more use of the fossil fuels, the more emissions from the vehicles, we are creating the vegetation or we are cutting the trees, that will affect the carbon cycle. The next, that is the nitrogen cycle. Now these are the main steps of the nitrogen cycle. It starts from the nitrogen fixation. After nitrogen fixation, it is the nitrification step. After the nitrification step, it is the denitrification, and ultimately the nitrogen is get back to the environment. So this is all about the nitrogen cycle. Now the human activities that will affect, this is, as I said, the first step is the nitrogen fixation, aminification, nitrification, and denitrification. Now the human activities that will, because the adding the nitrous oxide to the atmosphere from the vehicles and the factories, so it will increase the NOx level, more use of the fertilizers. So ultimately that will affect the nitrogen cycle. The next cycle that we are going to discuss, that is the sulfur cycle. Now the sulfur is available in the form of the fossil fuel burning, or maybe in the form of the volcanic eruptions, or from the bacterial interface. These are the sources of the sulfur which is available. But due to the more vehicle emissions, the more SOx is available into the environment, and that will come out as the in the form of the acid rain. So that is the burning of the fossil fuel from the automobiles and the factories that release the more amount of the sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, and the sulfur dioxide combines with the water and it causes the acid rain, and the acid rain erodes the structures, both natural and the man-made. So this we are going to discuss in detail in our coming session, and there is one small video on this also that we are going to see. Thank you.